Wishbog's deviation, what does it do and how to use it. All that information and much more can be found in this Google spreadsheet. You can find a link to it in the description below. Anyways, for the rest of the video I'll go over its functions, where to get it, common misconceptions, and go in a bit more detail from a point of view of someone who has been using them every season since. Video will be segmented with timestamps, and by the time we hit color tiers, you will already have all the information you need to take care of one yourself. Alright, so from the beginning, Wishbox has 8 slots through which you feed items up to 20,000 points. How to tell how much an item is worth? Reference the spreadsheet. I spent hours figuring out the worth of first few items and then reverse calculate others till it made sense. So if you do it on your own, it's probably gonna take a while. Once you feed the items, it'll take 5 minutes till they are chewed up, and on the first minute of a new hour in real life, or every midnight in game, they will produce items that you can collect in securement units. Items you will get will be based on color tier that you fed. White items will mainly produce white, with a chance of green. Same applies with green, with nearly half of them being blue. And blue with chance of purple. But once you feed purple or yellow items, you'll only get items of those specific tiers. And those are the basics. So, where to get them? Best and easiest place would be from the NPC in towns. There's also a chance to get them from hiding morphic crates. Use online tools like Map Genie to find locations where to find them. And now, regarding the 3 biggest misconceptions related to these deviations. The better Wishbox stats, the more loot. That is not true. It's based off how many points worth of items you feed the box. Wishboxes give random, low amount of items. Again, if you aren't maxing out on 20,000 points, yield will be poor. Feeding yellow tier items is best. Well, it's relative to one's needs, and personally I'm bouncing between blue and white tier as those yield the most value to me. Each tier needs different items and also yield different advantages. Each color tier also has specific type of items that you might want to focus on. Here are some highlights as well as item I personally prefer to feed due to its ease of farming it, or I haven't found anything as hassle-free and efficient. White tier. Main desired item in white tier is storage batteries. Mining woodcutting tools from bronze up to advanced tier is a close second, but you can't ignore wide range of parts up to tier 3. Reason why storage battery is crazy to get is due stardust water pump. 1 battery equals to 80 stardust. I'm not ashamed to admit that I've farmed up all my stardust needs for the season on first day through mining copper, tin and iron ores alone. The second best thing is chainsaws and advanced drills. In almost every scenario, season, first phase prevents you to craft and trade chainsaws and drills. Only exception being solar drill, but it's not that easy to get. Being able to acquire advanced drills and chainsaws is a massive pitch sale during first phase of scenario. You could sell it for high, give it away for good karma, or disassemble as those are made out of tier 5 metals and battery as well. White items I use are copper, bronze and steel ingots, with some mix of metal scraps. A green tier. This one I usually skip and don't bother much about, but for those that aren't aware, Eternal Dream scenario had seasonal challenge that required you to craft 100 reality recitals. I don't know about you, but I've never managed to farm more than 50 refined detoxidants in a season. Reason being, very rare. But Wishbox came in clutch. It just so happens that this tier drops loads of medicine consumables, acid, impure acid, gunpowder, lots of green quality foods, ammo, tactical items, as well as frequent crystal drops from tier 1 up to tier 5 if tier 4 and 5 zones have been unlocked. Once they are, they also start dropping them. My preferred green item is blueberry juice. In my initial post on Reddit, I mentioned sugar that comes from beets as a good choice because 2 stacks are equivalent to 20,000. But it's far from best because juice is worth at 15 per unit, while sugar is 20. While difference between them is that the growth cycle of blueberries is 1 hour, while beets are at 6. Blue tier. This is my go-to, as nearly half of the items are tactical consumables that I can salvage for loads of parts. Has a wide range of animal skins, so I don't have to farm any. Variety of food buffs, with stamina and weather related at top. Also some high valued plants that are used in seed yield fertilizers, and some purple tier materials that I can feed later. For this one I use blueberry soda. The biggest reveal would be that I start my playthroughs rushing blueberry farm with several alts. Despite planters having debuff from dirty water, they still yield on average 4 berries per planter. So in less than 3 hours and 2 harvests, I would have acquired 8,000 blueberry sodas, which is equivalent to 108,000 XP. That would push me to level 31. Blueberry sodas that can add... Am I showing off? No. Or feed 18 purple tier. This has huge selection of deviated plants, actually good food buffs, some tactical items, but mainly tungsten AP ammo. Nothing too amazing, but for this tier I use corn and malt ale. If I start drowning in blueberries, I usually switch out to corn and wheat. Yellow tier. This one has legendary deviated plants, animal byproducts, best food buffs of all kinds, and rest is almost exclusively ammo. Only and only reason I would go for this tier is to get hard to get food buffs, and rare animal skins like golden wool. Problem ammo-wise is that each weapon has 6 different types of ammo, and thus points are spread too thin, too wide, so you barely get worthwhile amount. Most of the time you get less than a clip worth of ammo that you might actually use. For yellow tier, I've heard people use 33 stardust energy drinks. In my opinion, it takes too long to farm saffron, with 12-hour cycles, and aluminum requires acid as well as a good amount of sugar. Silver and gold ingot is far less hassle. While precious metal perk would be useful, it's usually more convenient on someone else who's active and ends up selling ingots at a discount. Right, and that's honestly it.